if we're talking about how to do this in Marketo, let's talk specifically about emails. Emails. And the question is, how do you actually really properly have agentic email and an individual email, and how does this work? So here's how I'm going to design and suggest that this works. Whatever your marketing automation platform is, and what it is doesn't matter precisely, because you can do this in any of the marketing automation platforms as long as you're doing the design correctly. First, we're going to go to a one-to-one email. And it's going to be done via AI, and it's an individual one-to-one email. Imagine that we're saying, dear person, we have a few different areas that we're going to need to determine are going to be dynamic. Here's the first one. We're saying, dear person. Person has to be individual there. You can imagine that this is one individual token. You can just use a first name token, for example, and an individual lead variable. And then we look at the common ways that content in emails are being grouped, and then what we might want to do to make our own emails. Now imagine, for example, that we wanted to use the approach that sales is doing via pretty spammy AI, but this is where AI is currently being used. It's saying a personalized first sentence or first paragraph. So I'm just going to do a first paragraph here. And then we have a secondary paragraph here. And then we get into the final area where we have a CTA. And then the CTA is just going to be a button. We'll just make it a big button. And so imagine that we treat these independently variables, and that we have here a few different variables. We have these individual ones. So the first in is an individual, I'm just going to call that text. And what we want to do is we want to send an email. It goes an individual. We want to make sure that anyone who's into this is going to be having these values, this text, multiple paragraphs, and then the actual call to action here. We want to make sure that these are being calculated via AI. So you need to have this as an individual tool where these are writing to person fields. Person fields being written to. And if you have person fields being written to, you can use those person fields dynamically into a traditional email using your existing marketing automation tool. And let's just start with the first one. Imagine we send a marketing email. We say, dear you, whatever your name is, doesn't matter. We can just use that really statically without AI. And then we come up with a paragraph 1. And then you can see this is the same similar approach that's going to be working with sales emails as well. So first we basically say like the whole value proposition, an argument, and then personalize is whole one, personalized based on experience of the specific audience here. This is where you mash and it's basically come up with a big context. You say, okay, for this person, take this context, put it through, and then spit me out, and the prompt would be, spit me out a individual personalized email, which will be a transition between hey, I see you've done blank. I think it means that you'd probably be a good candidate for blank. First, we say that this can be an individual paragraph. It can be written to a long text field for that person. We can input it into an overall text in here. The second token that you can have is an individual field, and this can be the recommended content, or say recommended action. So the recommended action could be do the thing, whatever that's going to be. And then finally, we get into this next one, dynamically created. You can imagine this as being the third token. That's the third variable on the person field. And then this, what you need to do is you need to have the CTA. The CTA, there's the text version, and then there's the CTA of the link. And then the link is the actual URL itself. So if you send an email, you want to say, great, this is brand new, imagine it's nurture. You want to make sure first, logically, that anything is written. Anybody who's getting sent this email actually has these values predefined onto the person. You're not going to send blank emails. That's a bad thing to do. And if somebody has that, once they get actually enough AI fields that are personal from here, then you can put it into a Marketo email. And this is a really simple way to do it. You just say 1 token, 2 token, 3 token, 4 token, 5 token. 5 individual customized things. And then you can imagine that this email is going to be sent out only to the people who have the right value And then from there, there's a defined conversion that you're trying to go for. It's that somebody actually converts through here. I don't care just sending emails for no reason. We're sending emails because there's a specific call to action. That call to action is the success of this overall email campaign. We want people to do the next recommended action and take that. And the way that you could do that is to make sure that you have, of course, in the same way that you would any campaign, you need to make sure that there's campaign success. And you need to define that success as literally clicking and taking action within this. And this is the way that right now you can just turn this into a whole email that's repeatable. And you can define the audience in the email program. And then you can get this going. You can do this in any of your existing tools, and this is the way that you interact. It's basically to say the person fields are written by AI, and then you build the Marketo program and the overall marketing automation program to send it out this way. And this is a really fast, easy one. And if you're saying, for example, that you're trying to get an original meeting, you can do this with a sales email template traditionally, or you can, I think it's more genuine to do this as a marketing email sent really precisely from marketing and being transparent that it's actually customized as opposed to trying to fool people into open your sales emails. I don't think it'll work as well. So this is the way. This is actually how you go and have AI personalization, real proper one-to-one using just embedding with whatever your large language model is and then putting into the marketing automation platform and then hitting and scheduling send and then measuring the conversion rate. And we want to measure the conversion rate on a static versus a dynamic. This is fully dynamic. We want to track that. I do think it's more effective significantly. And so it's just put it into the system and start sending it. And then let's do you can do a challenger champion testing between if it wants to be an AI written or non-AI written. And that's a path. That's how you can use AI right now in your marketing automation tool. Reach out to us if you're interested in doing any of this conversion from your existing marketing automation tool into a new AI-enabled approach. You got to use the tools and design it in cross-system in an intelligent way. This is a great way to do it. Edward Unthank, owner and founder of Etumos. Glad to educate along the path, and I'll see you soon.